When Halloween Frederika was announced, I figured she would not be at the top charts of Evasion, but I've seen some footage and apparently she kind of reaches that. So today I want to try it out. I've built everything I need to make her as evady as she can be, and I want to try her out in arena like this. Now, I expect her not to perform that highly because we're sacrificing so much damage, but we'll do that in another video where we build an assassin Frederika. So today, get ready for some Evasion gameplay in arena. Before we begin, I want to say this map gives Slash Attack Up, which will increase Halloween Fred's offense, and Strike Attack resistance, which will decrease the rest of our team's offense. So this is a thing to consider. Now, we've built Halloween Fred for maximum evasion. I don't think this is the best build for her because I don't think she'll do enough damage for, her role. She should be kind of an assassin, and she will not be able to one-punch people with this build. I think you want a hybrid build with more offense, but right now we're testing the full evasion, and in another video I'll test a more offensive build. So right now, Camera Esper for dodge, 2 pieces of evasion gear. Now they don't fully stack with each other, but having Elena's TMR on top of the ribbon gives me 13 more evasion than just having ribbon, so it's pretty good. And then her own VC for herself for some extra luck as well. With all that, she's got 460 luck, which is quite competitive. It is definitely in the top tier realm. She is rather squishy though, so any kind of hit will take her out. Decent resistances to pierce, I guess, but yeah, generally I'm expecting her to not survive a second hit. Dragoon Job will allow her to have slightly more damage because it has a 220 mod attack, so she might use those, especially because we're relying on Earth Attack Up a lot more than Slash Attack Up in our squad, and so she can use different damage types and it won't matter too much for her. In terms of abilities on-off, I have left Ready to Engage on for now. So for the first fight, you'll have it. I might turn it off at some point because I decide to give her the Evasion Up buff instead. But yeah, the idea is moving with the squad, so right now an AoE buff seemed like a good idea to me. Then Luelle is very important for our team. She gives Earth Attack Up 40 to everyone. Now, we are already sacrificing a lot of offense by running all evasion stuff, so giving Earth Attack Up is very important for us. Luelle only has 1000 magic because she's running a physical VC and doesn't have a weapon, but it's still rather decent, and she has 6000 HP, 34 defense, 30 spirit. She should be rather bulky. Also, really solid stats elsewhere as well. She's got accuracy up passive, so hopefully that makes up for the fact that she's not wearing any kind of accuracy gear. And in terms of abilities on off, I have turned off Invocation of Free Action. I really love the buff, it's very good, but this is a small map and Luelle only has time to use the single buff, and Earthen Invocation is much more important for a squad, again because we lack offense. Then finally, Winter Venera. She's really there as a bruiser who can finish off some enemies. 7000 HP, 46 defense, 22 spirit. She is hard to take down while still having a similar attack to what Halloween Fred has, so that's not bad. And she has some high mod attacks, so she will hit very hard if she has the chance to. She's also not the most accurate with the current setup, but with 410 luck, I hope she's not going to miss too often. So with that said, guys, let's go and fight. Let's start with a boss battle with Fight 1. We're fighting the Mono Light Squad. 2 custom 100 unit and another that should be a custom 100 considering how good she is. On top of that, Halloween Ryu's TMR. I don't think we can win this, but it's definitely a good way to test how evady we are against an enemy Elena. It will also give us a chance to test out our accuracy, so I know, when you're building evasion teams, you ideally do not want to target an enemy team that has a luck up card because they're just negating each other. So they have some luck up, we have some luck up, it's like nobody had it. So that's not good, but we have luck up here and a lot of other stuff, so hopefully that makes up for it. And it seems like I forgot to turn on animations, so I will do that right now, and for Fight 2, we'll have that from the get-go. But right now what happened is Jayden has already hit us from across the map, and he's likely almost out of AP because of it. So it's a gain for a loss, but losing Luelle too early in the fight is definitely not in our favor. Fortunately for us, she will have time to use Earthen Invocation, so we have 3 turns to kind of collapse on the enemy team and try to take as many of them down as we can. Now, enemy Elena has re-raise, and enemy Elena can tear through our team very easily. One thing that's really not to our advantage is the fact that Halloween Fred is weak to Slash, so enemy Elena can tear through us rather easily. The area resistance up will only really be useful to resist her limit break, and after that she's coming at us with nothing held back. She's just going to charge us with everything she has. So Luel throws a laser at Jayden, which almost takes him out, but not quite, and then Jayden's able to throw his AoE attack, which unfortunately hits Halloween Fred. Now, Halloween Fred is built for full evasion, so when I see her take a hit like this that I believe she should have dodged, it's definitely not looking good. Then Razor's Edge finishes off Jayden, only 3,700 damage, so, you know, I'm surprised that Luel with 900 magic would do so much more than what Halloween Fred has been able to do. It's really not that good for Fred. Now, hopefully Venera lands that attack, but again, she's not the most accurate, especially in her team, so I'm not sure she will. Looks like she did. So now there's some earth resistance down, that's good. We are able to finish her off once out of 3 lives with this one. Then Drain Evocation misses, so far, I'm considering the evasion from Halloween Fred to be good and bad. She did get hit by Jayden, but she managed to dodge a couple hits afterwards. Now, goes back, another Razor's Edge on Elena, loses her second life, but Re-Raise says she's still in the fight, and I wonder what Jayden's been casting. Seems like he's casting Banishra on Venera for very low overall damage. This, so far, is really good for us. Shifting Strike from Venera finishes off Helena for the 3rd time, and now I believe she is out of lives because they already used their full life. So we have to kill Yuna twice and Jayden once, but we are slowly going towards a victory. Halloween Fred dodges yet another hit, moves onto Jayden, and there we go. Now she uses the jump attack. Again, that's because we don't have a lot of slash attack up on our team, so she doesn't really mind doing that. Meanwhile, yeah, still not a one punch though, but we dodge yet another hit. Meanwhile, the healing power down on Yuna is very impactful. It will make her heals a lot weaker, and we still manage to survive a holy, so definitely a good performance from Venera right there. She is doing more than her share of the work. Finishes it off by invoking Golem. Now, I don't know if Golem will be enough to kill a casting Yuna. I feel like she has too much remaining HP for that to actually take her out. I also believe Golem is magic scaling, but I might be wrong. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't really do much except apply a map effect that is going to be good for us. But the enemy Yuna was not really doing anything either. She just decided to heal herself, which, with the healing power down, is quite unimpactful. See, she has to take another turn to heal. And when do you ever see Yuna need more than one turn to full herself? But there we go. Venera's gonna punch her once more, hopefully putting Yuna in healing range. Yes, it did, so she goes for another prey, and then hopefully we can finish her off. Yup, 6,700. Now that was a rather impressive attack from our Fred here. And then the timer runs out, and this fight is won. Let's follow that up with an opposite Earth squad, and this one is interesting. They're not full evade. They went for a build that I would love a little bit more, where they have some Earth attack up instead of the Circus of the Heart, and then, you know, bunch of people with high evasion gear. We might struggle against them because, again, we are not built for accuracy. We do have high luck on a bunch of people, but we're not wearing any Alexandrite rings or marshmallow hats, so that could definitely be an issue. I'm hoping Luel especially will be accurate because she has 2 accuracy up passives, but again, we're not a team that's designed to hit very reliably. If this was a class match team, I would not consider us to be able to fight enemy evasion teams. But there we go. Seems like the enemy team is splitting from the get-go, so their strategy is a little bit different from ours. We are designed to group together, cast a bunch of buffs on everybody, and then collapse on the enemy team. It makes us a bit weaker to AoE attacks, but we are kind of hoping for Halloween's Fred's buffs to make up for that. The enemy team is designed to just use as many life up or extra lives as they can, and then rush in. And that Taunting Blade did significant damage. It is the difference in VC that's speaking right there. I wonder if we can take him out. No, seems like we decided to buff instead. I don't like our odds here because we're just casting buffs while they have extra lives and they're already collapsing on us, and we've lost, you know, half HP on 2 people. But he does take quite a bit of damage, and then Fred, can she finish him off? No, she misses. So, yep, that is not looking good. Zazan should be rather out of AP here. There we go. So at least he's used up everything he had for that first attack. So we're able to finish his first life, but he still has a few. Now, he got the speed reflex, which is bad, but he also was drained off of 20 AP, so he's still at 0. At that point, Venera misses him, and unfortunately Zazan's still in the fight, but Fred finishes him out. So 1 dead, but we're almost dead for the second part, and we don't dodge the attack from Muraga. Really not that good. Drain Evocation from Luel is very important though. Now she is back and healthy. But we have lost our strongest hitter, so that's not great. What can Fred do? Uses the Drain Flurry, which deals quite a bit of damage actually, but she did not need the healing from it. So there we go, Muraga is trying desperately to take out our Luelle, but it's the enemy Halloween Fred that actually gets the kill. And then it seems to be a one-on-one, but I kind of forgot courage there. We dodge one of the hits from the enemy's Drain Flurry, but that did not matter too much because we still got afflicted with the defense down. Now let's see, what can our 49 AP Fred do? Uses the Fatal Pirouette, but misses the enemy Fred. Now, our Fred has a couple more levels than the enemies, and that might have an impact. They basically have more offensive VCs, we have more luck, and we land one hit, but now she chooses to run away and go for the buffs. I'm guessing next turn she will be starting to grab crystals, which I don't like. But we decide that she will not be given a chance to grab crystals because we just evoke our Esper, which hits from halfway across the map and finishes her off. Guess that's a win. This time, let's be completely unfair and fight a bunch of lightning people. They have a Black Witch though, so I don't feel that bad. Also, if you've ever seen Cloud fight a Halloween Frederika, he is still able to kill her in 2 turns. The first turn taking away 90% of her HP using Triple Slash. So it's not that heavily swayed in the Earth team's favor, as you would expect. The biggest issue for Cloud is our Winter Venera, who can one-punch him with some of her abilities. So it is possible for us to kill Cloud in a single hit, but not for Fred. So they also have Fury Surge, which is surprising. It means they will be piercing through our magic resistance. I both like and don't like that. We might be able to kill the enemy Black Witch in a single hit, but we have the Spellblade Stop Job, which kind of goes to waste against her. Also, I believe our Luelle's already in range, so she might die to the enemy Black Witch right here and now. I guess we'll see what happens, but that is what I'm expecting to see right now. She'll move in, yeah, drop the Limit Break, and there is no way that Luelle survives this hit, I think. Yeah, I really can't imagine a scenario where she would. But the game proves me wrong, and here, I think it's the AoE resistance that Halloween Frederika gave her that made the difference, because she, I believe, has roughly 15% HP left, so yeah, definitely that made a difference. So Luelle is able to fire a laser and take away half the enemy team before Charlotte does nothing and Cloud wastes some AP on her. Using Barrage, okay, missed one, great. So now it's the Black Witch's turn. What can she accomplish from there? I guess she's casting her single target attack, but our magic is being penetrated. Doesn't matter, Fury Surge will not help you if you can't finish casting. At that point, the match is basically over, but you will get the chance to see Cloud's damage. So yeah, that's what happens. Enemy Cloud can still tear through Frederika rather well, as he just demonstrated. Now, Frederika can also deal damage to Cloud, especially when he's almost dead, but chooses to go for Charlotte, which I don't like. Now, Fred is definitely gone, so Cloud takes another chain at her, just takes her out, and it is a 1v2 now. Can they do it? Winter Venera is a lot tankier to the enemy team's attacks than what Halloween Fred is, and so Cloud will need, I don't know how many turns, but multiple turns to be able to take her out. Takes one, uses Braver, which is his hardest hitting ability on her, but now here we are, unless he reflexes, this match is over. And I just had to name Reflex, so he actually pulls it off, but he's out of AP, so just buffs and grabs a crystal, and now he needs yet another Reflex to be able to win. Will he get it? Well, maybe not, because he actually laps us because of how fast he is. That's impressive, because we do have agility up on our team, and my Winter Venera has 97 agility, but Cloud was faster. Another squad I'm very curious to tackle is the Dark Squad. They have a lot of accuracy, right? The Black Rose VC gives them all 25 accuracy up, and a Black Rose can use an accuracy up buff. So if they are given time to buff themselves, I believe they can take down H-Fred rather well. But I do have to test it out. If they do, if we do lose H-Fred that easily against these types of enemies, then that means the evasion build is definitely not as viable as I would want it to be. Especially if you're thinking about, you know, guild battle applications and whatnot, where the Black Rose with her own VC is very common. That will eliminate Halloween Fred from any type of competitive scene. But let's just see. It's a good test to do. So we have our buffs up. We are ready for a fight. And I think the enemy Black Rose will be able to reach us immediately, which does have a little bit of an advantage. The fact that she will not have time to use a accuracy up buff before collapsing. She is hasted though, so that is rather bad. I believe she's casting her Hex, and with the Armor Crusher landing, that is definitely a kill. So the Black Rose's Hex has been cast, and she took out already one member of our team. What's going to happen now? Well, Venera's still in buffing mode. She does not want anything to do with a fight just yet, and Halloween Fred decides to jump, which is really bad for us, actually. You might wonder why, because it gives them time to use this. If we were not in the air, they might have actually wasted their turn by using an attack that would not hit. But now we jumped just to do no damage to Duane, and this is kind of why I figure the evasion build isn't that good. If you're fighting a tanky enemy, you just can't take them down. This attack was very weak, considering it's a 220 mod. Now, the Black Witch is in range to attack, and I don't know whether Fred dodged or not. I kind of saw her sidestep a little bit, but I'm not sure what I'm seeing here. Seems like we did dodge it, and Venera also survived the hit, which does not surprise me. Venera is extremely tanky. Chooses to use the snowball fight, and that enemy Black Witch does have her barrier, if I remember the early fight correctly, so she barely survives. Definitely not good for us, because now she'll have one more chance to hit, or perhaps she'll get healed. And yep, just Duane finishing us up from the side. He did get the accuracy up buff from Black Rose, and that sealed her fate. And let's finish that against another of those light squads. This one is sporting a support Cloud, because, you know, Cloud is such a great unit. He can fit in just about any team. And again, enemy team has a luck up VC, which kind of cancels our own luck up VC. Yeah, but Jayden is rather blind, so if he's not using his guaranteed hit attack, I don't expect him to be able to land any hits on Halloween Fred. We've got Courage on enemy Elena, which means she has 2 lives, and a buff that's kind of useless for her, so at least that's good for us. We're going to start casting our own buffs, and the offensive buff that Luel gives us is very, very important for our squad, so I'm glad that we have time to use it. And then Jayden goes, and I wonder what kind of attack he's going to use right there. He is not in range. No, I believe he had to be in range, so I'm wondering what's going on there, but he chose to buff, which is very much fine with me. Now, Winter Venera keeps generating a bit of AP. Cloud is going to use yet another buff, which won't really have much of an impact, I think. And then Luel chooses to fire an orb and take Cloud out immediately. So that was a squishy enemy Cloud, and he just goes down to Luel's weakest attack. Then let's see a drill shot. Yep, not a kill. So Luel is able to take 2 turns from the enemy team before going down. She traded her life for Cloud, so I hope she can make that work. We've got some magic resistance, which will not be all that useful against this team, and for the first time, I think, in those matches, our Fred chooses to use her LB. The blind will not matter all that much, but it has some slash resistance penetration, which I think is the reason why she chose to use that. So, takes the enemy out, enemy Elena misses us, and now Venera is using the snowball fight. If that connects, I think Elena is about to lose a life, but it might miss. Yep, it misses. At least it decreased her earth resistance, so that's definitely good for us. We get some accuracy down on Halloween Fred, but she still manages to hit, and then she's attacked from behind and dodges both abilities. So that is a difference of luck between these 2 units. Even with accuracy down, we are a lot more accurate than this enemy Elena. And finally, Venera connects the punch and finishes her off. That was pretty clean. All in all, I would say this build performed much better than I anticipated. I thought we would lose most matches, and we ended up winning more than we lost. A lot of them were probably due to some RNG, but, you know, for a team that's not optimized, and when you're thinking Earth Evasion, you're thinking Ketone, URZazan, not Venera and Luel, so we probably don't have the best units for this either, but we seem to be doing rather well. So I'm very eager to test a build with a little bit less evasion, but more damage. There has been many scenarios where Halloween Fred just, you know, she was staying alive, but she needed 2, 3, 4 turns to kill somebody, and we just can't have that. I would like her to, at the worst case, 2-shot someone, and if she gets a clean hit, just kill them outright. So we'll be testing that in the future, but for now, But that was it. Hopefully you guys found this interesting and, you know, just had fun testing this out with me. If there are other things you would want me to test, just let me know and I will be very glad to do it. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.